No, we don't have time to do that. Do not have time to just play GameKit all hour, unfortunately. Okay, can you see? I hope you can see. Never did find my cell phone holder, so you're just propping it up on books now. Alright, well, while we're here, I'm reviewing with, actually the twos are learning in detail relative pronouns. So let's just stop for a second and just review. Where we have relative pronouns, relative clauses, that's the qui, qui, quo chart. Whenever you're dealing with a relative clause, remember the relative pronoun gets its number and gender from its antecedent, but it gets its case from the clause that it is in. Yes? Hence relative clause. Okay? So, hang on, I have to get all 50 books assembled for this passage because it is not only is it boring, it is not simple. We're starting to get into the more interesting pieces, but we're still not entirely there. Okay. Everybody okay? Does everybody have a good enough weekend?
Enough.
Good enough? Yeah. Did you guys get stuck in the house on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been in the house anyway.
You were stuck at work? No? You just went out anyways?
Half in the end.
The libraries were closed.
Oh.
My parents would be in the house, so I couldn't make them run.
They would? No.
Oh wait, I went to see a movie on that day.
Thrifting.
Actually, I
Did
saw
you find anything cool thrifting?
Um,
Saw the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
I have a better ending for you on my phone.
So the thing is that I've heard so much bad about it, and when I went to see it, I could kind of ignore it because I've already heard it, and so I get to see the good, but I still don't like it.
I just clicked on the wrong thing. What am I actually trying to find? Okay, so my thing is, I don't know if you guys know this about me, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. But I am a huge Disney Pride and Prejudice Shakespeare fan.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I like Lord of the Rings.
I like Lord of the Rings. I like Doctor Who. I like, but so 7, 8, and 9. What I have found is the diehard Star Wars fans are like, ah, and everybody else who's like, I'm not really a Star Wars fan. It's like, I didn't mind 7, 8, and 9. So
I thought it's like I thought 7. Wait, which one was 7? Because I think I liked 7, not the other.
The Force Awakens: A New Hope.
I hated the last Star Wars movie. Everyone's seen the last Star Wars movie.
No, not everybody has seen it. I would just assume. Like, have you seen The Rise of Skywalker yet? Oh, you have? Anyone not seen The Rise? We have people watching on video.
Oh, I'll just say, okay, the ending of that one made me angry, and I was like, I'm done.
We'll gather around my cell phone if we have time, and I will show you the corrected ending. The one that made my Disney Pride and Prejudice Midsummer Night's Dream happy.
People say that it's worse than the prequels, and I don't really agree with that. Like,
You're breaking my heart.
As I said, Lord of the Rings, all the movies are just so good.
Right.
And Harry Potter.
I'm over J.K. Rowling though.
Yeah, me too. You hear that, J.K. Rowling? Stick.
Over it. Over it. Over your nonsense. Your pandering nonsense. It's not even pandering. It's like,
I don't even know what's wrong. She's just too much.
well, I went on this rant, and I might have made the wrong impression on one of my last ones, because I was like, when we first started the school year, the most recent thing, she was like, oh, by the way, Harry Potter's black. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? With his
Yeah.
pasty ginger mama and his pasty brown-haired, green-eyed daddy?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah, she's
Like,
trying too hard to be progressive.
I was just, I am not, I'm clearly not African American, but I was insulted. I was like, that seems insulting to people who actually are, who actually are inclusive in their writing and actually do have Africa, and that seems, that would be like saying, Just kidding, Doctor Strange is Asian.
Sorry.
Right?
Can I go back and fix this?
Right? I'm just like, it's super insulting, right?
Like,
And the
why did you
Dumbledore, like, that just wasn't, it's not necessary. She's trying to keep herself relevant, and the fact of the matter is, she's pushing away her younger generations, like, how many of you, like, how many of your friends are like, I'll never read the Harry Potter books, because they've already got the movies, and because J.K. Rowling is crazy. It's just,
Found your audience and trying to build more, but it's not working.
okay, right, yes, I am all for seeing a new series about an African American, or just, African, a black Harry Potter. But, first of all, his name can't be Harry Potter, because we have established that as a pasty white family. Yes? Okay, okay. Well, even if it's not Daniel, like, it is canon, it is written in the book.
She can make a new story.
Pasty white kid.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
Right, I don't mind her retconning Hermione. I didn't mind that creative license at all, because they never talk about her, they talk about her teeth, and her frizzy curly brown hair, and her brown eyes. Don't ever talk about the fact that she's pasty white. They, like, specifically go into how pale Harry Potter is. Like, anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I thought there was one line about Hermione, but
Yeah, like, there wasn't a whole lot of description of Hermione, and it's all for, anyways, like I said, I'm all for inclusivity, but instead of retconning a pasty white boy, how about we just write another one? Then you can have both. But anyways, that's just me from my perspective.
they're related.
That's nowhere close to your lines, is it? How about here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, hang on, that's close enough.
That's close enough?
Wait,
Not
exact,
hang on.
but it's.
Well, if I go down to 22, is that better?
Yeah, that's closer.
I can also go like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Right there?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
trying to get on the same line as you guys.
Pretty close, it is.
So, here we go. I have all 15 books that I need to have to be able to successfully teach Caesar. Because it doesn't matter how many notes I take before this day, I'm still just like, I can't write down every single footnote, and I need every single footnote. Hysterical weeping is what the footnotes, is what the subtitles would say now. Okay. So remember, we've been working really hard to get away from me coming in and doing exactly what Fast Talker did, which is go through and translate everything and just be like, okay, so if you have questions in class, because he's basically doing kind of a flipped classroom with those particular videos. I don't even know if he's still using them, but I appreciate them and what they are. Here's the thing: I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teaching notes from Perry. 11. I don't like this chapter. It's not, I feel like this feels like a rough draft to me, but maybe that's just me. Okay, but I am gonna go ahead and just read, do you guys mind if I read the translation to you that I have? Because even the translation I have is just sort of like, okay, really? So, letters are sent immediately to Caesar from Cicero with great rewards having been offered if they delivered them. Because all the roads were watched, those who were sent are intercepted. During the night from timber, which they had brought in for the sake of building fortifications, a full 120 towers are raised with incredible speed. The things which seem to be lacking from the work are completed. The enemy on the following day, when much larger forces had been gathered, attacks the camp, fills the ditch. By the same method by which the day before they had resisted, resistance is offered by our men. The same thing happens on the next days in succession. No part of the night time is left free from work. Not to the sick, not to the wounded is an opportunity for rest given. Whatever things are needed for the next day's attack are prepared at night. Many stakes hardened by burning. A large number of wall spears is fabricated. Towers are built. Merlons and parapets are woven from wicker. Cicero himself, although he was in very poor health, left not even the nighttime for himself for rest, so that he was forced in the end by the crowding around and voices of the soldiers to spare himself. Okay. Huh?
I said what a brave.
Right. What a brave, courageous man. Caesar knows whom to put in charge of his soldiers, right? Okay. I don't even know where to start. Okay. Goodness gracious. So my first teaching note is Misi. Everybody see Misi right here in your line 3-ish? Yes? Okay. So Misi here is going to be like milites or weary, okay? So Misi is what we call a substantive. Do you guys remember substantive? Actually, I want a whole new page of this, so I can just flip back and forth. A substantive. Have I thrown this? Have I thrown? Oh my goodness. Have I thrown this at you before? Okay, substantive is when an adjective stands in for a noun. The idea being that the substance of the adjective provides a noun. Okay, so for example, Misi is masculine, plural, and nominative. So I know it's the masculine, plural people in the subject, right? Okay? So I know it's the masculine, plural people having been sent. So it becomes the ones having been sent. You ready with me? Okay, and since it's masculine and plural, we know he's talking about, actually it's probably the messengers, nutii, is probably what's being left out. Okay. So it's a perfect participle used as a substantive. And we can do that all the time because a participle could just mean the ones having been sent. Okay. So that's what's going on with Misi. But the ones having been sent are intercepted. Yes? And this is, everybody good with obsessis omnibus, ablative absolute? Oh, actually, obsessis omnibus vis, with all the roads having been watched. Yes? Or blockaded, I'm sorry, not watched. Blockaded, obstructed, besieged. When you have an obsession, your brain is besieged. Yes? You like that? It's from obsessus, having been besieged. Obsideo, and it means to sit on, right? That's what it is. It's at sedeo plus o, or to sit on account of. Okay. Okay, noctu. Everybody good with ablative time when? At least it should be. It could be an adverb. I could be completely wrong. Give me a second. I don't think I am. What do you think? Do you guys think I'm wrong? Did he tell you?
He didn't tell me.
He didn't tell you anything? Okay, well, we're gonna go with ablative time when until someone tells us otherwise.
So comes to the door because it's not and it walks away.
Okay, so I'm really glad we took that second to talk about relative clauses because look what we have here. Ooh, a relative clause. Just a straight up relative clause with a good old fashioned perfect indicative. Okay, so yeah, yes, very good. So third person, plural, pluperfect, active, indicative. remember we saw causa on Friday. Do you remember what's special about causa? Anytime you see causa, you're gonna see a genitive. Anytime. If you see a causa without a genitive, someone made a mistake. Okay? It's not an artistic decision. It's not anything, it's just a mistake if you see causa without a genitive. Okay? So what's the genitive that goes with causa here? Very good, munitionis. And then that's one of those words that we also had, I think it's one of the ones that we had on Friday, wasn't it? With lignio and lignatio and munitio, yes. Lignatio meaning procuring of wood and collecting of wood, and munitio meaning like ramparting. Yes? Everybody with me? Okay. So, again, for the sake of munitionis, fortifying, fortification, rampart, works, entrenchments. Okay? But, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Quam is my relative pronoun. Everybody see that? What is the antecedent of quam? Do you remember the word antecedent? Yes, there are so many words. Let me show it to you from here. Okay, so the antecedent is the thing which the relative pronoun renames in the relative clause. Okay, so for example, the queen, whom we love, is old. Harry Potter, who lived, does magic. Everybody good with Harry Potter is the antecedent of who, the queen is the antecedent of whom. I saw the boy who ran away from home. The boy is the antecedent of who. I saw the boy who jumped in the elevator. Yes? Okay. My grandpa bought a bunch of cows which moved. Yes? Cows is the antecedent of which. Yes, I was feeling particularly creative today. Okay? So, and then the antecedent has to agree with its relative pronoun in number and gender. Right? And this is our relative pronoun chart. Right? So, the relative pronoun that we have is quam. And the nice thing about that is twofold. First of all, there's only one possibility. Yes? No other quams up there. Can we all agree with that? Okay? Second, does everybody see that that looks a lot like feminine first declension accusative singular? And isn't it nice that it is feminine accusative singular? So it's one of those things like you can be going, your brain can go, don't have that chart, don't have that chart, don't have that chart. And then your rational thought goes, calm down. You know what is feminine, accusative, singular. So shape up and let's figure it out, yes? Okay? So when we look over here, quam, without having anything in front of you, you know it's feminine and you know it's singular and you know it's accusative. Okay, so it refers back to materia, which is also feminine and singular. And it is ablative, but that's okay because that's not how relative pronouns work. They don't have to agree in case. Right? Everybody with me? Okay, antecedents and the relative pronouns do not have to agree in case. So why is quam accusative then? There are only a handful of reasons why things can be accusative, yes? So let's go back to Latin 1. What's the first reason that we learned it could be accusative? The direct object, very good. Okay, so quam is the feminine singular accusative and direct object, which they had gathered for the sake of ramparting. Yes? Everyone okay? Isn't it nice when it's actually not that complicated of a thing?
I think you like next sentence.
Oh, I know. I know. But let's enjoy this, yes? Okay, incredibility is going to go with polaritate. I know for a fact I have not done a very good job of explaining adjectives and adverbs to you. Okay? So incredibly, that's a fun thing to say, incredibly. Okay, so you can see, I'm not gonna, this is such a long word. Is everyone okay with me using brewis instead?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's short. So, third declension adjectives, and brewis follows the same pattern. Okay? Third declension adjectives, like if we look at brewis, it goes brewis, brewe. Okay? There are 3 different possible patterns for third declension adjectives. There's the 3 termination, which is fancy for the masculine singular, nominative singular, and neuter singular nominative all look different. There's 2 termination, which is the masculine and feminine nominative singular look the same, and the neuter nominative singular looks different. And then there's 1 termination, which is fancy terms for all the nominative singulars look the same. Okay? It only matters in the nominative. The rest of the time, they look exactly the same as each other. Okay? And I'm going to show you. Alright? So we've got masculine, feminine, and singular. So it goes brewis, brewis, brewe. And then it goes brewis, brewis, brewis. And then it goes brewi, brewi, brewi. And then it goes brewim, brewim. Aha, neuter rule. Do you remember neuter rule? Brewe. And then third declension does a weird thing. Third declension adjectives do a weird thing. Okay? Third declension adjectives only do this weird thing. And participles don't do this weird thing, even though they're third declension adjectives. But third declension adjectives do this weird thing. Whereas instead of being confused with the A for the neuter, they just change it to brewe. Why? Because they can. Mog calls it an iBox. Yes, and if you go anywhere else and you say iBox, unless you go to Miss Lori Motter McIntosh in Memorial, it's also Memorial, everyone else is gonna look at you like you're crazy. Okay? iBox is just a thing with Mog and her students. Okay? What? You used to what? Oh, you used, yeah? Okay? Mog used to teach in Memorial. Yeah, long ago. So, brewe, brewe, brewe. Then is the ablative singular. So we call it an iBox so you remember it's there. That's the only reason we put a box around the I. Nobody else does it. Just the discipuli and grand discipuli of Marcus Struggle. So yes, okay. The plural does an interesting thing in the neuter. That's really the only place. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so then the plural goes brewes. Brewes, and then because it's a neuter I stem, it goes brewia. But that's the weird, other than being an I stem, so it goes brewium with an IUM. That's the last weird thing that they do. Everything else is predictable. Too fast? Too much? Need help? Okay? Okay. Want practice or just absorb?
Absorb.
There are charts available for you on the internet. If you haven't gotten like the SAT cheat sheet for Latin, that's a good one to have. Who was it that kept a cheat sheet their entire Latin career and just like added in teeny tiny writing on like this one page all the things that they needed to know? And like they didn't use it on tests or anything. They just had it, and they'd be like, "This is my cheat sheet. Is there anything else you think of that I need to have added right now?" I'm like, "Nope, that looks great. I wish I made a copy of it. It was brilliant."
Really?
Okay, so that's third declension adjective. So that's what's happening with incredibility. Yes? So, incredibility. So, it is here. Well, it's actually here. Because caleritas is feminine. Yes, I think it is. Yeah, tas tatus. If it goes tas tatus, it's feminine. Veritas, veritatis, libertas, libertatis, caleritas, caleritatis, tas tatus is feminine. Now you'll never forget it.
I need to hear it smile over again.
Nope, it was just for Allison. Okay, so back to this. Nope, back to this. Nope, that's not the one.
It's disappeared.
Where did it go?
No, just click every single.
Did I put it in the wrong place?
And there was also over probably. You put it in a different tab. I don't know which one.
What?
Just click all of them, you'll get to it.
Was there another?
There it is. Okay, we're okay. It's there. I was just wondering if it had scrolled down. Okay, so, but that's what's going on with incredibility. So that's why this is ablative, and you're like, what? How is that ablative? Well, because it's a third declension adjective, and third declension adjectives do the I-box thing. Everybody with me? Yes? Calling some distant memory from long ago. Yes? Okay, so that's what's going on here. Look, another relative clause! Oh, but look, CXX, this is 100 plus 10 plus 10. That's a 0, not a 6. 100 plus 10 plus 10. How do you know it's plus and not minus?
Because it's
Smaller
after, not
after.
before.
Good, because when you have a small number after a big number, you add them. When you have a small number before a big number, you subtract them. So CXX is 120, XXC is 80. Yes? Okay? Yeah, it's math. And I don't, what? You're not bad at math. We're good at Latin. You cannot be bad at math if you are good at Latin.
I'm good at simple
Any other math.
Like,
What other math do we need to survive in the world? Algebra 2.
Okay, so quae deesse operi vide
it's
bontur.
like speed.
So we're kind of missing, we're actually kind of missing an antecedent for quae. We're sort of missing like omnia. Right? Or maybe even omnes res. Yes? Yeah, so like all the things, kind of. So all the things which seem to be lacking in the work is de esse operi vide bantur. De esse, everybody see de esse? Everybody see a compound verb? What happens with a compound verb? Yes! Okay, compound verb
Oops.
takes the dative. So where's our dative that goes with our compound verb? Operi! Okay? Am I missing any? There are so many notes! The essay, students have met this, that's actually a typo, students have met this verb with the dative before, most recently at 534.1. They might need a reminder of how the thing lacking is the subject. All the things which seem to be lacking in the work. And whenever you translate it, you would want to put like all the things in brackets. So that you know that, they know that you know that they know that you know that it's not actually there. You're supplying it so that it makes sense. Cause Caesar.
Caesar Felix?
Micaiah's little brother. whenever he was little, his mama tried to trick him into eating vegetables by, chopping, like the things you do, you chop up broccoli really, really small and put it in his mac and cheese. And so the first time, like, he had it in his mouth and he looked at her and he frowned and just kind of like slowly spit out the broccoli. Just like, and she's like, okay, that's pretty normal, like, do it again. And he's like, he just kind of like, his eyes got even like more narrowed, like, keep in mind he's like 8 months old, okay? So it's like even more narrowed eyes and he spits out the broccoli again. And the third time she gave him a spoonful with macaroni, cheese, and broccoli, he just looked at her and goes, ah! I identify with that mood way too strongly.
Honestly, me too.
Wait, why did you say bah?
Because there was always broccoli with his macaroni and cheese, and it was different, and it's a very long story, but anyways, yeah. So, okay, but everyone okay with it's like all the things which seem to be lacking, and everyone understand why de esse is an infinitive. It's actually a complementary infinitive with videbantur. Okay, they seemed to be lacking. Okay, so those which seem to be lacking in the work are finished. Perfect uniform. Okay. Postes postero die multo maioribus coactis copiis caspa oppugnat. Okay, so postero die is just postero, is it multo? Postero die multo? I think so. Yeah. But then why is it singular, Caesar? Why? Why? It does not go with postero dies, that's why. So this is an ablative time when, and this is an ablative degree of difference. Okay? So, what happens, everybody see this right here? Maioribus. This is the comparative of magnus. Everybody good? You have great, and then you have greater, and then you have greatest. Okay? The dead rule. The maximum effort. Yes? Okay. So everybody see major? Yes, it's like magnus, major,